The 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway had everything: triumph, tension, and controversy. On one end, 19-year-old Connor Zilisch continued his meteoric rise with yet another record-shattering win. On the other, Austin Hill ignited fresh outrage after a reckless move that ended Eric Almirola's day and raised serious questions about Richard Childress Racing's culture of accountability, or lack of it. Connor Zilisch has been rewriting what's possible for young drivers. Just days after turning 19, he captured his 6th career Xfinity Series win and his 5th this season alone. He's now the youngest driver in series history to hit that mark. Even more impressive, he's finished in the top 5 for 9 consecutive races, an incredible feat for any driver, let alone a rookie. And remember, he missed a race earlier this season due to a back injury sustained at Talladega. Since returning, he hasn't finished worse than 5th. That level of consistency in such a chaotic series is almost unheard of. In the closing laps at Indy, Zilisch was behind Taylor Gray during a tense restart. A less mature driver might have panicked or pushed too hard, but Zilisch waited for his moment. With help from Sam Mayer pushing him in the outside lane, Zilisch timed his move perfectly. He took the lead cleanly and never looked back. This wasn't a dominant car win. It was brains over horsepower, racecraft over raw speed. His calculated decision-making earned him not only the win, but also gave JR Motorsports their 100th career Xfinity victory. Zilisch's maturity is what sets him apart. He doesn't just race fast, he races smart. Tracks where veterans struggle, like Dover or Darlington, he's shown up for the first or second time and left with trophies. He adapts like a seasoned veteran and executes with the precision of someone who's been doing this for a decade. Everyone now expects Trackhouse Racing to promote him to the Cup Series in 2026, and based on this season, he's earned it. No one expects him to dominate his rookie year in Cup, but if his learning curve continues at this pace, he'll be a real contender within a couple of seasons. Crew chiefs love him because he gives clear, detailed feedback. Spotters trust him to stay composed under pressure, and fellow drivers, most of them older, are already showing respect. That's rare. You can't teach that. You earn it. But just as Zilisch was celebrating in victory lane, the spotlight quickly shifted to a very different storyline: Austin Hill's controversial crash with Eric Almirola. It happened late in the race, with both drivers battling inside the top 10. Hill was slightly bumped out of line and appeared to lose control, but rather than backing down, he dove left and hit Almirola's right rear quarter panel, sending him nose first into the wall in a vicious impact. Almirola didn't mince words after climbing out. He said it was one of the hardest hits of his entire career, even comparing it to the 2017 Kansas crash that left him with a broken back. When a veteran makes that kind of comparison, it's not drama, it's a warning. If a hit was bad enough to bring back those memories, it's serious. And NASCAR agreed. After reviewing the footage, officials parked Hill for 5 laps, effectively ending his race. While some fans felt that wasn't enough, others pointed out that in racing, 5 laps down might as well be a DNF. Still, many are calling for a full suspension. And if Hill does get suspended under 2025 rules, there's a huge consequence. He would lose every playoff point earned during the regular season. That means if he returns in time for the playoffs, he starts with 0 bonus points. In a playoff system where every stage point counts, that's a brutal penalty. But some fans say it's necessary. NASCAR has handed down similar suspensions before, when Matt Kenseth intentionally wrecked Joey Logano in 2015. He was benched for 2 races. Why should Hill get off easy? Other drivers have lost their shot at championships for lesser infractions, and the deeper issue is precedent. If NASCAR wants to be taken seriously when it says safety matters, it can't pick and choose who to punish based on team status or fan appeal. More troubling than the crash itself was what happened afterward. Hill refused to speak with media post-race, but team radio told a different story. He was clearly upset, unrepentant, and doubling down. Which is ironic, because just weeks ago, Hill went on record saying he wanted to be a role model in the series. That message is now being widely mocked online. Be a role model doesn't mean dumping a guy headfirst into a wall at 180 mph. way. What makes it worse is this isn't an isolated incident. Last year at Martinsville, Hill had a very public feud with teammate Sheldon Creed. He also had a run-in with Cole Custer, where he retaliated by spinning Custer under caution, not once, but twice. That's not passion, that's a pattern. And if NASCAR's serious about safety and sportsmanship, then ignoring this behavior sets a dangerous precedent. What really stirred the pot was how Richard Childress responded. When asked if Hill deserved a suspension, Childress snapped back with "hell no," and immediately turned the conversation toward what he saw as inconsistency from NASCAR. He argued that other drivers have gotten away with worse and claimed his team is treated unfairly because they're blue-collar. This fits a long-standing trend. In 2023, when his grandson Austin Dillon was penalized after triggering a massive wreck at Richmond, Childress made it all about favoritism instead of accountability. That's the core problem with Richard Childress Racing right now. There's no ownership of mistakes, no admission that sometimes your driver crossed the line. Every time RCR drivers get into trouble, the story gets flipped into a persecution narrative. It's always NASCAR's fault. It's always someone else's bias. And that kind of thinking allows bad habits to fester. This isn't just a team image problem, it's a sport-wide issue. NASCAR can't afford to let stars behave like villains without consequences. If it does, it risks losing credibility with fans and sponsors alike. It also sends a message to young drivers, like Zilisch, that talent isn't enough, you also have to know who to blame. The contrast between Zilisch and Hill couldn't be more dramatic. One represents the future of the sport, disciplined, humble, composed. The other is in danger of being remembered for wasted potential and preventable mistakes. One's already earning trust and attention from top Cup teams. The other is testing the patience of officials and burning bridges inside his own garage. So here we are. Two drivers, one race, two very different stories. On one side, you've got Connor Zilisch, the 19-year-old redefining what a NASCAR rookie can accomplish. On the other, Austin Hill, a veteran letting emotion rule his steering wheel, backed by a team that refuses to address the issue head-on. One is chasing greatness, the other is spinning out, literally and figuratively. Let us know what you think in the comments. Was NASCAR too soft on Austin Hill? Should RCR take more responsibility for their drivers' behavior? And how far do you think Zilisch will go once he hits the Cup Series? Make sure to subscribe for more in-depth race breakdowns, driver drama, and all the action you won't see on the highlight reels. Because in NASCAR, it's not just about speed, it's about who can stay in control, on and off the track.